they'll lynch you. But he did, and I think he lasted about a week and a half.
The Boxing Day Blues are nothing new for West Ham. Our 3-1 defeat to Arsenal was the 8th time in our last 9 games on Cold Turkey Day that we have failed to win. Gone are the days that the Boxing Day extravaganza, games against Derby County, you name it, good high-scoring results for West Ham. Gone are those days. And what will be of greater concern for us is that the loss sums up a very sorry season that shows no sign yet of improving. Welcome back to the West Ham Network. This is your West Ham Daily. Thin ice for David Moyes. Get your comments in and let me know your thoughts. I get the gist of what a lot of people are saying, but yeah, it's not looking good, and things definitely need to change, don't they? 100,000,000%. Now, after back-to-back top 7 finishes under David Moyes, this campaign is shaping up to be a battle to beat the drop. West Ham were 6th in the league on the same date last season, and we were going well in the Europa League. And after the Boxing Day defeat against Southampton, we were on a 4-game winning run. Now, we are 10 places lower in the table, a point outside the drop zone, and desperately in need of a win against Brentford on Friday evening to stop the rot. And I wonder what's gone really wrong at West Ham. How do we work out what it is, what the situation is? So after 2 big seasons, 6th, then 7th, and Europa League semi-final, there was a lot of hope with the exciting summer signings. This term would see an evolution of our style of play, but that hasn't really came to the forefront. Our reactive sit-back and counter-attack approach, showcased once again against Arsenal, and has been a cause for increasing complaint amongst all of the fans, or a lot of the fans. We might accept it if the results were coming, but they are not. And as is the case now, it is very hard to stomach. Sometimes we'd love to see changes to up top. Strikers Antonio Scamacca maybe leading the line, a team operating more on the front foot. But that doesn't seem to be in the Moyes Plays book. We've not really saw that come a lot, really, to be honest. And with our team higher up the pitch, players like Paqueta, who excels for the Brazil national team, would also potentially get more of a chance to shine if played in a different position as well. Something else to consider, definitely we have to consider injuries to all of our new stars. There is sympathy in some of the areas for David Moyes over the difficulties he has had in transitioning these new signings over the summer. But we cannot argue that he was backed in the transfer market. But we've got players, and he has definitely been unfortunate. Now, you've acquired 30 million defensive summer signing, but we had to try and build a backline around him. But any of those hopes were squashed when he picked up that injury against Rangers in pre-season. And that's mean that he has been limited to just 1 Premier League appearance. Scamacca, Paqueta, Cornet, Palmieri have also had their seasons disrupted by injuries and illnesses affecting their rhythm. So there's no ifs or buts about it. That does have an impact. So there is some form of sympathy there. On top of that, our away day results are not great. They definitely are not great. So we finished last season as a team with the 8th best home record and the 8th best away record. This term, we are 5th from bottom on the home table and 3rd bottom in the away table. Our results in the travels are a worry, with just 1 win in 7. And our hopes of improving that have not been helped by Moyes' continuing difficulties when he takes on teams like Arsenal, Chelsea, Liverpool, and Manchester United. That is now that Moyes has now gone 71 times in his career as a manager and failed to win. One consolation in that, with those trips are all out of the way for this season. So not great against the big 4, 5, 6. Is there a dip in the problem? Is there a problem in the mood? It wasn't that long ago that the boss was being hailed for the Mosiah by all the fans. He had seen an overturn of fortunes for West Ham at the London Stadium. And after returning for a second spell, when we were 1 point and 1 place above the bottom 3 in December 2019, the nickname wasn't widely used these days. It's not being used these days by many fans. And some of them are starting to turn on him, definitely. And relegation concerns are beginning to creep in for some behind the scenes too. That mood potentially seems to be affecting the players. Declan Rice's situation doesn't help. It's been no secret that this is probably going to be Declan Rice's last season at West Ham. and he could hardly have been clear about his plans to secure a move to the next level while away with England during the World Cup. So given his influence in the team and the fact that he is the captain, it's going to be no surprise, really, that there's going to be some form of uncertainty around our most important player and what effect he has in the game, even if he continues to perform well in the heart of the midfield, which he does. But that has impacted, or we have been impacted in other places in the team. Tommy Souček, who was one of such our effective players and partners alongside Declan Rice, but he hasn't been the same since his first season, yet he started every game this season. That means alternatives such as Paqueta or Flynn Downs have yet to be explored. 16 games in, this needs to happen. Another player to hit the form of levels that he was previously almost Jared Bowen, who is a shadow of the player he was when he won his England call-up last season. So we've got issues there, but there are, and for me, there is a squad that are capable, definitely capable on their day of doing something on their day, but it needs to change. It absolutely needs to change, but David Moyes definitely knows that. Utilising this guy, Lucas Paqueta, he needs to be playing in a free-flowing position, maximising what he can do on that park. We need to get Scamacca back. These are our new signings. We need to get Scamacca back, letting him lead the line. He needs a run of games, consistent run of games. Agard, he is so vital. I know we've not saw him a lot for West Ham, but we saw what he is capable of doing in the French League and the World Cup. For me personally, the only slight bit of hope I've got is the fact that maybe 4 of these players may be fit and ready to go for the game against Brentford. And that really puts the pressure on for the game against Brentford. How huge is this game on Friday night? We need to not set up the same way we set up against Arsenal. We needed to not have the exact same team out that we had against Arsenal, because already the fans feel that negative vibe. And trust me when I say this, if the fans are feeling that negative vibe, the players are going to be feeling that negative vibe as well. And will he make it to the Leeds game? It's these next 2. I didn't think they were going to be so vital, but I think the manner in which we were beaten against Arsenal hasn't really filled me with a lot of hope. Brentford and Leeds are huge for West Ham. Absolutely huge. And we need to get something from the game at home against Brentford and turn our fortunes around and push on for the season. If we don't, we've got time on our side. If Moyes does go, we need to look at who else is coming in, who would come in. I'm hearing names of Pochettino. I'm hearing names of Tuchel. I'm hearing names of Postecoglou. Out of the 3 of them, I think the most realistic one is Postecoglou. But it depends on what these managers and mindsets are. Will Pochettino come to West Ham? I highly doubt it. Will Tuchel come to West Ham? I highly doubt it. It would depend on what they're promised. They would need a lot of big promises there. So we have to be reasonably realistic for a new manager coming in. And also, if you are struggling, who's the manager you're going to call upon potentially to come and try and change that? Sometimes, 9 times out of 10, it's a manager like David Moyes. I don't know where I'm at. I'm conflicted. But what we do know is David Moyes is definitely on thin ice. Leave your comments in. Let me know your thoughts on what I've just said there. Not great stats, is it? Hit the subscribe button. Hit the thumbs up. Please leave a comment. Why not? Just give us your honest feedback as well. It's definitely much appreciated. Join me at 5 o'clock when I'll be bringing you the Hammers headlines. Not feeling that well today. This is why I was just short pre-recorded. So we'll be back, of course, at 5 o'clock for the Hammers headlines. Come on, you irons.
Thank you.